Hello and welcome to the Stateside Soccer Show. My name is Jordan Wiegand, and with me today is Logan Stump.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Hi, Jordan.
How
Seize
are
the
you?
day. I'm doing all right.
Somebody couldn't. Yeah, are you feeling better?
Yeah. This has been, sort of. I'll give you that. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's sinuses or I don't know if this trip
Maybe.
added to it because I've been on a whirlwind of trips and didn't get much sleep. But my throat's still scratchy. Ashley doesn't feel good, so we're hoping we don't have a bout of the vid. But we had it in the summer, so I don't know if it could make its way around that quickly again. But
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I
never
feel better.
underestimate.
Yeah, I know
What I've
exactly. But
learned.
yeah, but no, I feel a lot better than I did last week. I had a massive headache, and it's like one of those headaches too that you wake up with still, and you're like, God,
Yeah.
this sucks. So it was like having a 2 day headache. It was the one that was lovely. So didn't get too much done.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling good either, so we postponed that. And then we had the bombshell of the Orlando City cheating scandal,
Yeah,
right? So I kind of pulled myself together and said, let me do this. And I wanted to preview the Open Cup anyway, so powered through it. I powered through it last Tuesday after taking a little break. I think I recorded that. I went live. It was like 9 something at night, I think,
hmm
when I did that. Good to hear that you're back. And sad to hear that it might still be lingering. But
yeah,
yeah, I saw you went all over the place. Was that Philly you went to?
yes, it was Philly that
Oh,
we went
nice.
to.
Was that one of the weddings or a stop?
So we had two weddings, one in Philadelphia and the other one in Milwaukee, and we did that in a span of like 72 hours. So
You
yeah, it
should have
was a
told
lot
me.
of
I
fun.
would have flown. I would have drove up and
Yeah,
just like crashed the wedding.
you should have. It was funny. I was trying to get a shot of it. It was like 1:30 in the morning, so I wasn't too quick on my reflexes. But driving through the city, Jordan, you will be happy to know, and I'm sure you might know this, but there are a bunch of Philadelphia Union billboards all over the
Oh,
place.
yes,
It's like
yeah.
this is kind of cool because we stayed in, I think it's called, is it Newton or Newtown? I don't know. It's one of
Oh,
those. I think it's Newton. But anyway, we stayed there. It was like 30 minutes, I think, from the city. So,
okay.
but it was nice. It was a really cool wedding, and then flew over to Milwaukee, and I think another thing you'll be happy to know, we flew through Georgia's. This made no sense, but we went from Philadelphia to Atlanta to Milwaukee, which was odd.
So dumb.
Yeah, but I saw a ton of Atlanta United kits walking through the airport. So this game is massive, man. Like this sport is just taking off, and you probably see it more so than I get to see it. Even though I'm here in Orlando, I think the Northeast really tends to seem to like support soccer a ton, and like you just saw it a lot, like when we were kind of out and about in Philly and through the airport and stuff. But
Well,
Atlanta,
they have a
big
winning
too.
team up there, so they're starting
True.
to jump on board here.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should go to the game on Saturday,
hmm
and it was like a few days beforehand. They're like, yeah, I saw like Union fans saying like, "Oh yeah, tickets are like virtually sold out," and I was like, "So I couldn't even if I wanted to." Like that's
Right.
how, like before I used to be able to buy tickets like the day before,
Yeah.
pretty much and be like, "I'm just gonna go." I can't do last minute planning anymore
hmm
for the Union. I have to plan it out. I haven't
They're
been
too
to a game
good.
all year, unfortunately. I guess I'm gonna try to get to playoff games, but they're probably gonna sell out super
Right.
fast. So we'll
Maybe
see.
we'll apply for a press pass for you next year, so you
Yeah,
can
that's true. I could just go
cover
up
some
whenever I
Union
wanted to.
games.
Then I
Right.
guess.
We get some connections through the Philly front office, and by front office I mean Todd.
Yeah, he's not really front office, but yeah,
No,
Todd
no,
from the Free Kick has been in the press box like every game almost at
that's
home.
so cool.
So it is really cool. So congrats, Todd.
Right. Exciting times. We just
Yeah,
got our first press material, which was exciting for
yeah.
us. Yeah.
Telemundo
Right. That was wild.
randomly sent us the stuff. That's nice of them. I don't
Maybe
know.
we accidentally got on the list, Jordan. Typed it the
I
wrong
think so. I think that like next time they send something out, they're like, "Oh, there was an error. We meant to send it to a different."
stoppage time.
Yeah, like, or a different podcast that
Yeah.
they misspelled the email. I don't know. They were like, "Hey, let's just send this out to anybody that would be interested." Maybe I don't know
Maybe.
what they were thinking. Um, And we didn't see it till today, unfortunately. So
Right.
we're just
We couldn't even release the information.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's already 5 days old. Hey
By the
guys,
way, guys,
Telemundo
they did a survey.
doing some special thing with the World Cup. Okay. I wanted to say before we get any further, we were going to announce this next week. We were not next week. Sorry, last week, but we had to kind of postpone it. So here is what we're going to do. We've been talking about it for a while, and we are giving away 2 Panini prize packs for the World Cup in Qatar. The tweet is going to be up, tomorrow with this episode. It's going to be pinned to our account. Here's how you win. You're going to follow us. You're going to have to like our tweet. You're going to have to... Let me just actually get the photo up that I made of this instead of rambling on. I think that might make it a little easier. So... I'm going to leave you on the edge of your seats right now, everyone, as I get this up.
Jordan, would you like me to sing for the people?
I don't think anybody wants that. What did I call this thing?
Maybe Oscar can sing for us. Is Oscar in the room?
No, he's not. He's in the other room.
Would they wear soccer kits, Jordan?
Huh?
Just random. Would they wear soccer kits, do you think? Or are they too...
Dogs?
Yeah.
No. Damn. No, they don't even wear any of the stuff we buy. All right, here we go.
That is beautiful.
Panini sticker giveaway. So what this is, it is a 2 of these that we're giving out. So 2 winners out of everyone that enters, which is better odds than any of the other things we've ever done, where it's like 1 winner. You're gonna win 1 Panini album for the World Cup and 10 packs. So here's how you can do it. If you follow us, like, and retweet the tweet, that gives you 2 entries into the giveaway. So that means your name is in there twice. If you rate us on Apple Podcasts, that gives you 2 more entries. If you rate us on Spotify, this gives you 2 more entries. Now, you can send us a picture via DM or comment on the post with the picture of the review, so that way we can, award that review for you. The max amount of entries is 6 for each person. That means you can do all 3 of these things and have your name in there 6 times. We are going to give you until the 20th of September. So that's Tuesday, September 20th, because this will be going up Wednesday. So that gives you until Tuesday, September 20th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Good luck to all who enter and win this. You're also going to get a bonus. We are Fooked Magnet along with that as well. Very nice of us, Logan, to be giving away $15 worth of stuff.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think our last giveaway too was pretty pricey.
That was way pricey, yes, and it took forever for them to actually send it out.
Yes, but luckily, we had credit card points that might have been used for said giveaway. So I don't know. I'm excited to see.
I think next time we could do a cheaper one with the MLS mystery kits.
Ooh, that would be fun
much
too.
Cheaper than what you gave away.
All right, let's do that. Jordan, mark it down. I'll buy the mystery kit giveaway. We'll do a World Cup giveaway live on when we do the World Cup preview, because I think we should go live, right?
Yeah, we're going to go live.
Let's mark that down. Write that down, Jordan. I'm going to buy mystery kit. Is there like country specific ones too?
No, they have MLS specific ones, and then they have overseas. So
okay, so we'll do. I guess what we'll do. Do you want to do MLS or do you want to do World?
If we're going to do it for the World Cup, I think we're going to do it for the World.
Let's do it. All right. So mark it down.
I got it written down.
We'll do it. Giveaway. We'll be giving away a mystery kit, and you get to unravel it and hopefully post it on Twitter, which would be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do a U.S. scarf too or something. I don't know. We'll get crazy for World Cup. Big coverage.
They have mystery scarves on there too. I got one.
Ooh, that'd
I
be
got
fun
one
too.
for my dad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did he open it?
Yes, he did.
What did he get?
He got Bayern Munich.
Ew, I'm sorry.
He liked it. He liked it.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's good then.
I had my mom send me a picture of all of the scarves he has hung up in the basement. He doesn't have Bayern Munich. I told him he would prefer England or Germany.
Yeah.
That's what they sent me. So there you go.
I was gonna say you guys have heritage in Germany, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Nice. We could have been brothers. Mine as well. So.
Yeah, Stumpf, right?
Yeah, Stumpf.
I'm learning German. Duolingo.
Oh, so that's what language you're learning. I meant to ask you that when I saw it on your story. I was like, what? I wonder what he's learning. I was thinking it was going to be like Mandarin or something.
No, I'm learning. Well, I've been learning Japanese as well, but it's tougher to do that. So I've been focusing on the German. German I took in high school, so I already have the knowledge base of it, and I'm just trying to broaden that. My goal is to play some video games in German and actually be able to understand what's going on. But
that'd be kind of fun.
Okay, Americans abroad. We're not going to go through all this stuff because it's been a bit since we've been on. But I don't know if we talked about Dest. He moved on to AC Milan instead of where he was rumored to be going to United. I know last time we talked about United.
Yeah.
John Brooks is at Benfica. I'm not sure if we talked about that. He was originally going to go to Malaraca, right? So that's done. And Pulisic maybe is free. We don't know yet. Tuchel got fired from Chelsea. I'm sure anybody that listens to this knows this. But Tuchel is gone from Chelsea after the Champions League last week. They bring in Potter from Brighton. We'll see how he is able to maybe win over a new manager. And this is probably his last chance at Chelsea, I would think, before he is going to be shipped out at some point.
It'd be interesting to see what happens to Christian. I hope Graham plays him. I'm hoping that he gets a chance back in the team because we really need that. Jordan, next week on Tuesday, we're only 2 months away from the World Cup starting, which is absolutely bonkers to me. I think Ecuador is the first game, but I was looking at that today. I'm like, we're getting down to we're getting to like 60 days away from actually seeing World Cup soccer. So Christian needs to play. Otherwise,
how about let's talk the goalie situation here because Stefan is rumored to be losing his spot in the championship. Turner just started in the Europa League for the first time this season. And Sean Johnson hasn't looked great for NYCFC. I really don't know how this is going to go. Tomorrow, I think, is the release of the roster for the September friendlies.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. What some people are leaking on Twitter is that PFOC is not part of it, by the way. That it is going to be Pepe, Sargent, and Vieira up top for September. I'm fine with that because, if it's going to be over here, I think it is, right? Like, I don't know. PFOC, he's playing in Germany. So is Pepe. Well, Pepe's in Netherlands now. I don't know. I think PFOC's on fire enough that you're like, you know what? Just keep doing your thing. I've also heard stuff from people on Twitter that Greg might not be the biggest fan of him anyway, so who knows? Any other American abroad stuff? What's your goalkeeper thoughts here?
I mean, it's not good. I think the biggest thing with this is the fact that like they get in and they start training to keep consistency, I guess, in camp before they head off to the World Cup. Because they probably will have a week or two before they actually get to Qatar, maybe.
I think it's a week.
Is it just a week?
Or 10 days. I don't think it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping
MLS
with
players have longer, I think, but
right.
the Euro teams I don't think have a long time.
I don't know. I didn't have confidence at all in Zach Steffen, and this is not going to hurt his, or this is going to hurt his confidence tremendously. And we saw what it kind of looked like when he was playing in some of these friendlies that he's been playing in, that he's just looked real shaky to try to decide whether he's going to come out and punch the ball, grab the ball, whatever it might be, boot it away. Like it just seems like he's really, his confidence has just been shaken. I would say Matt Turner is still our number one in my mind. I'm not too concerned just because I think he is very good. I think there might be instances where he looks a little rusty, but I do think, I don't know. I think with the repetition that he's probably getting with Arsenal, at least it's only a couple months, I guess, that he's really just missing game time. But yeah, it can't feel good just because we've got that issue, and we've also had issues with the center forward position with consistency. So I don't know, but slightly concerned that there might be just an instant in the World Cup where we could be looking back and going, man, if we just had consistency as far as playing time, that this could have gone a different direction.
Yeah, it's a very different world than when we were growing up, and we always had very good goalkeepers. So it's
right.
so different. Okay. Are you ready to move on to? We got some MLS games today and tomorrow, which is Tuesday and Wednesday. Some teams can clinch playoff spots, so I want to kind of talk about this. This is from MLS Soccer website article. Austin can clinch a berth in the playoffs with a win or draw against RSL, and they play Wednesday, September 14th at 9:15 p.m. So it's getting close. LAFC can clinch the number one seed in the Western Conference with a win at Minnesota or a draw with an Austin draw, or if Austin lose versus RSL. Philly can clinch the number one seed in the East if Montreal loses to Chicago tonight, Tuesday, September 13th at 7:30. So if you're listening Wednesday, you already know if that took place. Montreal's been pretty good. I'm going to say that most likely doesn't take place. You can pause and laugh here if I got that wrong. New York Red Bulls can clinch a berth in the playoffs if Miami loses or draws versus the Crew, or if Orlando lose to Atlanta. The Miami one is tonight. The Orlando one is tomorrow. So they kind of have 2 days in a row here, the Red Bulls, to clinch with two different circumstances. That doesn't involve Red Bulls at all. They're not playing this week. I think they're caught up on their games in hand. So they can just sit back and see if they clinch without that. Let's go to the elimination scenarios. Sporting Kansas City can finally be eliminated if they lose or draw versus DC, which is asking a lot from DC at this point. RSL win or draw at Austin, or if LA, I guess they mean Galaxy because they don't say LAFC, or LA win or draw at Vancouver. So there's a chance that SKC, who've been awful all year, had finally climbed out from the bottom of the West. There's a chance that they can be finally eliminated with only four games left in the season. This is wild when we're talking about some of the MLS stuff. San Jose will be eliminated if they lose or draw at Colorado. They currently sit in the bottom of the West, but they actually have a game in hand. They're at 29 games played compared to everybody else mostly being at 30 or 31. Houston is already eliminated. And they fired their manager. First year manager is gone. We'll get to that storyline. Okay, so out of all the things I just said, do you see Austin clinching a berth. They need to win or draw versus RSL.
Yes. I think that 100% happens. They've been kind of in a rough stretch. I mean, both they and LAFC have been awful. Lost 4 of their last 5
losses.
Right? LAFC had won not this week, but last. But it's like they're both just trying to give away points at this point. And I don't know if it's because they've been playing so well and they're kind of clear of some of the teams below them. I guess they feel with game in hand on a bunch of them. But yeah, I think RSL just they're underwhelming to me. I don't think Austin continues to lose. I just think they come up out of the funk to get a win and secure or draw even to secure a playoff berth. But again, who knows at this point, Jordan, because it just feels like Austin's just giving away. It is at home, so maybe that gives them the extra boost of clinch it in front of their fans and their first berth in the playoff spot, which is absolutely wild from a season last year that they were not great. So, yeah, I'm going with yes. Do you think so?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think RSL is 7th place. If they want to get out of this funk, you got to do it now, right? Like, they just got manhandled by Seattle 3-0. They just lost to Nashville 3-0. They're starting to give up a lot of goals. They lost to Portland 2-1. That's not too bad. They haven't won since August 26th, which was against LAFC, who was also in a miraculous funk, where after that they lost to the Dynamo. The Dynamo, who get eliminated a week later or 2 weeks later and fire their manager. And then LAFC beat RSL, though. And then they lose to Dallas. So maybe it's going to be similar, where they both beat RSL, those two teams that have been struggling. Also, I just want to thank Dallas for the 2 late goals to keep LAFC 3 points behind the Union with a game in hand, because the Union have a shot at Supporter Shield at this point. And I'm going to go on the limb and say they win Supporter Shield. I think their end of the season schedule is a little easier than LAFC's.
Yes. And I think are playing a lot better. 5 straight games they've won. Jordan, they've won 9 of their last 11. Like, they've grabbed 27 points out of 33. They did lose those 2 games, but I mean, they've pounced on people, right? 4-1, 2-0, 5-1. They've had stretches of 6-0, 6-0. Like, it doesn't feel right. Like, Jordan, I honestly, and I'm going out September 13th and saying, I don't think the Philadelphia Union lose another game. I don't.
Let me write that down.
I'm calling it right now. They do not lose another game at all. Not once. Let's just call it as it is. They got 3 games left plus playoffs. I think the East is an easy run through for them because nobody's playing well. I guess the closest thing is Montreal, and maybe Orlando's played pretty well lately. But
yeah, Orlando's been good lately. But then they put out, after they won Open Cup, they went out and put a team out in Philly without caring, and they lose 5-1.
And maybe the second best team right now in the East as far as form is concerned, and they absolutely get pummeled by the best team in this whole league. Again, I just don't see it. I don't see them losing it. If they have home field advantage, Jordan, this team is the way they're scoring. It's unbelievable. Like, they don't even have to touch away soil in the playoffs. So, yikes.
Well, that's something too. You know, for so much of the season, LAFC and Austin had outclassed them with goals. Right? It was only this upcoming weeks when they surpassed them. Just literally, probably at the end of August, where they overtook them. They have 68 goals.
Right. It's not even close anymore.
To 60 for LAFC and Austin.
Right.
The Union, goals against, 22. LAFC 34 and Austin 45. Their goal differential is plus 46.
Is that a record? Like, is that close to a record? I wonder what
I think it was only 2 teams have ever finished with plus 40. And I think it was plus 48 is the highest, which means that they really only need to play 1 or 2 more games out of the 3 if they keep up on their streak, where they can pass that goal differential record and cement themselves as one of the best teams
that have ever
of
played.
all time.
Right. Gosh, because I mean, what 73 is the record with points, I believe.
Yeah, they're not going to break. They can't break that.
Yeah.
They got 3
Right.
games left. They're 10 points behind,
Right.
so
But
they can
could
get
sniff.
9 points.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at, it's more than just
Output,
points, though, right?
yeah.
If you're looking at how many goals they're giving up, how many goals they're scoring, the goal differential, and look, this is a team that was very slow starting, right? Ua did not start playing until late in the season because of injuries, because of getting delayed transfer, all this kind of stuff. Comes in, finally starts playing, and what do you know? They start tearing it up. Gazdag now has 19 goals. They had that whole stretch of a month where they were like barely scoring, right? What was that, like June or?
Oh yeah, it was like a drought.
June or May?
Yes.
I'm looking at the schedule now where here it is, April. April they draw with Montreal.
You were
1-1.
Yeah.
May 1st, draw with Nashville 1-1. Draw with LAFC 2-2. Draw with Red Bulls 1-1. Draw with Miami 0-0. Then they even have a stretch here in May to June. They beat Timbers 2-0. They draw with the Revs 1-1. They draw with Cincy 1-1. They beat NYCFC 2-1. They lose to the Fire 1-0 in June 29th. They draw with the Crew 0-0 on July 3rd. July 8th is when this offense explodes, and they end up scoring 7-0 against DC. Another 2 on Miami, 2 on New England, 1 against Orlando, 6 against Houston. They get another 2 losses in here with Cincy and Dallas, but then they beat the Fire 4-1. They beat DC 6-0, Colorado 6-0, Atlanta 4-1, Red Bulls 2-0, Orlando 5-1. And they have Atlanta, Charlotte, and Toronto to finish out the season. There's a good chance.
What was that again? What were their 3?
Atlanta, Charlotte, and Toronto.
Okay, I heard
Toronto is probably their toughest.
Yeah.
And guess what? That is a game at Subaru Park.
Yeah.
Now, the games away are Atlanta and Charlotte. That might be a little tough away, but I have faith that this team is going to be really special. And it feels very weird to say that because this is a team that has historically never scored a lot of goals. In fact, they didn't score above 2 goals all season in one game, Logan, until that 7-0 victory against DC United. All of their games were 1 goals, 2 goals, no goals until July 8th. For a team that now has the best attack in the league.
And then just kind of like a fun stat to throw in right now, and we can do this in the playoff thing too. But the Union 38 points at home so far this year. They have not lost. 11 wins, 5 draws. They, if you look at the away points and who's collected the most away points in the East, it's the 2 teams right below them. It's in Montreal and Red Bull. But still, like the fact that they're going to have to go to Philadelphia to play Philadelphia if they advance in the playoffs. I mean, they're just not beatable at home. They've allowed 9 goals at home. That's it, just 9. Like, how do you don't score on them? And not to mention, you've got teams like Red Bull that go cold quickly. So I mean, it just doesn't seem feasible for any of these teams to bounce them right now. Like, you read those 3 games off, and while Charlotte and Atlanta are both pretty good at home, I just don't see them right now stopping this high octane, whatever the hell's going on in Philadelphia. I mean, it literally, I think if you did the math, it's around 4 to 5 goals a game right now, which is absolutely insane.
It's at the point where I get disappointed if it's a 2-0 victory.
Like, that wasn't enough.
I was like, come on, where's the third? What are we doing?
But here's another question for you, I guess. Like, as Daniel Gazdag, I mean, if the Union do win Supporter Shield, which we both think they will, if they win it, do you have to give the MVP trophy to Daniel Gazdag, or do you give it to Hani Mukhtar because he's, I guess, had a higher output with Nashville?
So here's the thing. If we're basing it off of what they did last year, should be Gazdag, right? They gave it to Heel, who won the Supporter Shield with the Revs. Even when I thought Hani Mukhtar should win it. So if you're going off of precedents, that's what would happen. But literally nobody on Twitter, when I talk about these, when you're following any of these national media people, are talking about Gazdag having a chance at MVP, really.
Right.
So what I would look at that and say, it's going to go to Hani Mukhtar. I don't know, as a makeup from last year. I don't know. He should have had it. 22 goals this season for Hani Mukhtar. And I don't know how many assists. I don't have 7.
Yep.
It's 29 goal contributions. Gazdag doesn't have as many assists.
Right.
So Andre Blake also has 13 clean sheets. Everybody, again, nobody really talking about this. Everybody was talking about how Sean Johnson was close to getting the clean sheet record, and now Blake is. Like, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the record's what, 16?
Mm-hmm.
So Blake can do it with 3 more games. He can tie it. But nobody talking. NYCFC have fallen off the damn map.
Right.
I mean, this is insane. I was watching. If you watch NYCFC play nowadays, they look like a shell of themselves since Tati left, and even before Tati left. Really, it's since Dali.
Ronnie Dali, yeah.
They have not won in their last 5 games. They have 4 losses and a draw in their last 5 games. If I pull up their account, like their page here, when's the last win? Right before that, Chicago. That's their last win. That was on August 21st. They sit 4th. Orlando has 2 games in hand, and Orlando is 4 points back. It's conceivable that they can actually drop out of a home playoff spot, which is good because they actually have no home anyway. So
that's fair. That is very fair.
They don't even know where they'd be playing in the playoffs, I'm sure. So wait, the Mets are in the playoffs and the Yankees are? Where are we going to play?
Although I'm not lying, if NYCFC is looking at this, Jordan, they're looking at Orlando going, oh, we want to play there. Like, we want to travel to Orlando because Orlando can't beat anybody.
Yeah, Orlando just won an Open Cup.
It's true. That's exciting. I need to get myself a shirt or something. So, no, but it was great. I mean, not great that we probably cheated to do so, but, it's life.
Well, what came out after my show is that they were in a public park practicing.
Yes. But, like where else were they supposed to? You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee Orlando's not giving them, like, the Orlando Health Center to be like, hey, you go practice in our facilities. They couldn't
make a deal with, like, Wild World Sports?
Or any of the college or high schools, really. Like, they could have made it with our high school.
Any of those? Yeah. Wild World Sports, like, has all those fields.
Right.
It's not easy to get
Disney would gladly give it up for money. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Like, it is stupid. Or one of the colleges couldn't offer it to you because I know UCF could offer you a field. Like, why not just take
Maybe
that?
Because the school season started, like the school year started.
I don't know. I think it's just stupid. Hell, I'd practice in a gym before I practice in public park where anybody could walk by and take video of you. So, I don't know. But, yay, trophy. It is kind of...
Yeah, their first major trophy or first in MLS history, like their MLS history, of course.
Save Oscar his job for now.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to fire him after winning a trophy. Okay. Do you see any of these teams, Vancouver, San Jose, Sporting Kansas City, getting eliminated today or tomorrow?
Let's see. Looking at the scenarios again, Sporting, loser draw versus DC. Or Salt Lake win over Austin. So that ain't happening. LA win or draw. Yeah, Sporting will get bounced. They'll be eliminated this week. I feel like LA will beat Vancouver. San Jose, yeah, I think they're going to do it too. I think they'll get bitten. And then I said that Vancouver will lose. So, yeah, I think all 3 of them this week. I'm going for it. All 3 of those teams that have the scenarios posted for them are eliminated this week. Right? Because, I mean, we'll be 2 games roughly down. So, left. But, sure, let's go for it. Even though the Rapids haven't been fantastic, I still think that it happens. gosh, I'm just looking at all the red on here, Jordan, or the gray. I mean, really, Portland's on a tear. Nashville's been really good. But, I mean, just looking at it, it's like you'd be a stupid man not to bet all your chips on Philly. Like, and I get it. Like, it's hard to
Galaxy
win.
have had all draws except a win. Seattle's been struggling. Rapids are struggling. Like, look, these teams can still make it in the playoffs here,
Yeah.
like Galaxy and Seattle, but they like Galaxy a better shot. They have a game in hand still. They're at 29. Most of these teams are at 31. Like, they have a shot, or like RSL's at 30 above them. So they actually have a shot, Galaxy.
Imagine being
soon. But Chicharito keeps getting his penalties blocked.
Yeah.
He tried a cheeky Panenka at a game winner spot, and he took ownership for that. So that's great. But then he gets another one saved that wasn't that way, like the next game, and then they need to figure it out, right? That is a problem. that is a problem. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, really, Montreal just needs to lose this game for Philly to clinch first in the East, which almost guarantees a Champions League spot. There are some wrinkles that can prevent it, I think, with if Austin overtakes Philly or something with points, because of if Montreal wins MLS Cup or whatever, then it goes to, or if Montreal finishes top of the East or wins MLS Cup, it goes to the next team below them. So actually, no, Union should be good if they can knock Montreal to stick to second. If Montreal stays second, then Philly should be able to clinch guaranteed Champions League, which Orlando now has. So Orlando's going to be in the Champions League. That's going to be a lot of fun. You should try to get to a Champions League game.
That's why I want to try to get to one. I hope they play like one of the real classic teams in the Champions League, just because I feel like
they'll probably start with some lower teams.
Yeah. But even like some of their lower
team, like
oh man. But what I don't know where you're headed next, but Galaxy, I mean, just looking at it, because we were just talking about them. If you look at RSL and you look at Galaxy, and kind of the end, RSL has a pretty tough road to finish the season. They've got Austin, playoff team, Cincinnati, playoff team, Galaxy on the fringe right behind them for a playoff spot, and then Portland, playoff team, and probably one of the best teams in the West right now. Like, I mean, RSL does not have a favorable road. If Galaxy missed the playoffs again, Jordan, after missing it last year and being backed out because of RSL, like, could you imagine? I mean, at what point does it become, you look at Greg Vanney and go, dude, what? Like,
I don't think you can look at Greg Vanney. I think you can look at Chris Klein and the whole leadership of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much what they hinted at when we had our LA people on,
right.
Is that even when Greg was hired, like this won't really change that much. But they gotta support him. They gotta support him.
There's a good chance they finish worse than they did last year, as far as points are concerned.
Which is crazy, because they were doing very well until recently. Like, it's a very common fall apart here. I don't know. I think they haven't really given him much squad to really work with.
They're stuck behind. I mean, Chicharito's had a good year, 14 goals. Like, that's a good year. And
after kind of struggling a little bit this year, he kind of gets 14. That's good.
Right.
That's more than Rui Diaz, who I had as like Golden Boot winner, I think.
Yeah, and Jovic has been good too, 10 goals. But like, I just feel like they're good.
This aged poorly.
Right. Yeah, no, that's bad. Don't do that again. But I do feel like, I mean, it really, I just feel like LA doesn't have like that punch. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have that big punch that LAFC throws with, or Austin with Jerussi throws with, or Gazdag and the Union and their defense. Like, they don't have like that characteristic in their team where you're like, oh, the Galaxy are this. Like, they just seem to be there. And I don't know, like they're known for late comebacks or trying to win at the, as the bell's ringing, like trying to slip into class. I don't know. It just seems like they're always just waiting around for things to just fall into their laps, and it never happens for them. Which, I mean, I don't know if that's because I'm guessing it's personnel at this point. Like you said, how much can it really fall on Greg when you've got a pretty average team to kind of compete with. So.
And, you can do it without spending a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that Sam Stejskal, he wrote a whole article about the Union. According to Transfermarkt, Logan, the Union have spent a total of $10.66 million on transfers fees in their entire history. In their entire history, there have been 7 MLS players that have had fees higher than that, and they're doing it where they're consistently at the top of the East.
Mm-hmm.
They are, and also I think who said earlier today, Doyle, I think, that LA has 1 scout. Let me look at this again, because he was retweeting that article, and said that, because what the Union do, right, is that they have analytics, they have full scouting staffs that helps them kind of run this thing kind of cheaper. Matt Doyle's tweet from today says, "It's striking to think that a team like the Union invests so much in scouting and analytics, while a big spending team like the Galaxy has no analytics department and a full-time scouting staff of 1. Now you're looking and saying, well, why are they struggling? Maybe because their model should be both, right? Their model should be we're paying big money to bring people in, and we're also spending big money on scouts and analytics to find the diamonds in the rough, to find, how did nobody else go get a Gazdag or
Mm-hmm.
who are tearing it up? Carranza was struggling in Miami.
Yep.
He comes into Philly and he takes off. Ernst Tanner is finding all of these little diamonds in the rough here, and that has been amazing for the Union. And they're able to consistently churn out a competitive team, even when they sell somebody. They sell Brendan Aronson, who's now in the Premier League, and they don't miss a beat.
Mm-hmm.
They got better.
Right.
And that's kind of the scary part. And when you see a team like the Galaxy, who if it's true that they only have a scout of 1, this is really a failure at the whole organization. They got to kind of rethink the way that they're doing things.
I mean, and the other thing too is you kind of hit on it, but like with the Brendan Aronson thing, they're not only finding top talents and talents that are kind of misused by their teams and these diamonds that are just cleaning up and polishing, but they've got Jordan. Once these guys leave, it's like they have an army of younger kids waiting in the wings to be thrown right in. I mean, you got Paxton Aronson, who many believe is going to be better than Brendan, which is still hard to fathom because you got to watch Brendan in his short time with the Union, but now you get to see it on the Premier League stage. And Jordan, he's arguably one of the better wingers in the Premier League right now. It is wild to think that a kid playing with Philadelphia, who is always constantly ignored by the mainstream media. I'm glad that Sam wrote an article on them just because, and I can say this as not a Union fan, I can say that they are constantly overlooked. This team has built a dynasty. They are going to become a dynasty. Whether you like it or not, this team is going to be one of the top teams in this league for a very long time because they put all this time and effort into their young kids. They play the kids. They found Kai Wagner, Leicester was after him for a while. I mean, you had big clubs coming after him. Mark McKenzie, I think, eventually becomes a pretty good talent in Europe as he's kind of finding his way. Andre Blake is arguably one of the best keepers in the world. It's like this team, man. Quinn Sullivan, you got Jack McGlynn, you got Paxton. The list goes on and on and on, and you're not even seeing the 14-year-old and 15-year-old kids that this team is going to have soon. So It does. It speaks wonders. And then you have the Galaxy over here who's playing like the broke brother of LAFC, who's looking at LAFC spending all this money on all these resources and has a very deep roster. And LA Galaxy could barely find. I mean, they're hiring criminals to basically run and operate this team. They're stealing money. I don't know where they're putting it. It's not into anything that's productive on the field. It's kind of shocking, to be honest. And I did not see that article. That's shocking that they have one person. And how much of this game, Jordan, and any other sport has gone to analytics? How can you do this as a big club, not have all these really good pieces in place?
One last stat here about the Union. They are 11 wins and I guess, what is that, draws or losses since July 8th? That would be losses?
I'm guessing draws.
I'm checking. Since July 8th, I hate when they order these things without
yes, because everybody does it differently. Is it losses?
Win, loss, draw. Okay. I think it looks better win, draw, loss. But anyway, okay, 11 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws since July 8th. They've outscored opponents 46-9 in that stretch. And only 10 other teams in the league even have 46 goals all season. So they've scored 46 in 2 months. So that's since they got healthy at the forward position and everybody's clicking. There you go.
What a machine.
All right. Let's see. I think we should probably preview the... Oh, I just wanted to say real quick, we do have MLS News is now on Apple News. You can add that on there. RSL has a renamed stadium, so I went to Rio Tinto this year. Now it's America First Field, based off of bank or whatever. That's lame. It's a credit union. I don't know what Rio Tinto was either, but it sounds better.
I think it's a river, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I think Rio Tinto was a company that had the rights. They were a mining company.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
We have, Joseph Martinez is getting a suspension. He won't be playing this week due to, he flipped over a table in the other locker room. They already said Pineda's going to be back for next year. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Is Joseph long for this team here?
No, I think we tried to look this up last time. I think next year's his last year, right? I can't remember when his contract runs out. I always forget when his contract runs. Hold on, I can check because I got his FB ref. Scouting. Is it under scouting? No. Why can't I ever find there it is. Maybe. Wages, contract. I don't know. I can never find. Anyway, I think Joseph has pretty much made it clear, if I'm guessing, that he does not want to be there anymore. And this is all just, I think it's just coming together ahead right now. I think you're really seeing it just kind of bottle up and explode. Which is really a shame because of how much of a legend he was there. It looks like he's not under contract next year, or can get out of it at least. But I think this is it for Joseph. And I'm telling you, Jordan, we talked about this. I don't remember. It was probably a couple months back now. But this Atlanta team, there's a lot more going on in this. I mean, it's ownership. I actually think Gonzalo Pineda is a good coach, but he's got a bunch of craps to work with. Players that are injured all the time, guys that aren't worth their value. We've talked about all the players that have gone and are come and gone with Atlanta, just guys that they couldn't figure out, like Ezekiel Barco. It just seems like they've been a mess ever since Almiron left, and that team was that good. And just they're kind of becoming embarrassing. At some point, you look at it and go, this is nowhere close to what the team was when they first come into the league and are willing to spend all that money on players that are decent. So, yeah, I mean, it's awful. And then also, Jordan, we didn't even talk. I mean, maybe you did talk about this already. Miles Robinson, too, got arrested, was arrested for petty theft or theft. Was it just theft? Yeah. Stole
$5. It was over $5.
Yeah. So, not good. I mean, it just seems like a bunch of head cases at this point.
Yeah, talk about head cases. Houston Dynamo, they fired their manager, Paulo Nagamura. He was, a former player. He's been at SKC as their second team manager. They only won twice in their last 13 matches, by the way. They only had 8 wins on the season overall. And Pat Onstad, who is the new GM since they fired their GM last year, is ready to pull the plug after only 29 league games. I feel like this team is just always in a perpetual state of a revolving door at this point.
Yeah. Disarray. That's 5 straight years without the playoffs now. And since 2014, the two-time MLS champions, the two-time MLS champions have only qualified for once for the postseason since 2014, which is even crazier to me. Like, I mean, everything I had heard, because, I just started following the league. Everything I'd heard about this team, they've just been, just the class of the league for a while.
Well, when they were with Dom Kinnear, they were they had consistently in the playoffs.
But now, not even close, man. Like, I mean,
you know what that means? You know what that means?
Yeah.
Rebrand time again.
I was thinking the same. You know what? I think they should just dissolve the team and rebrand it to a different city. No, but man, poor Houston. Gosh, it must be awful just to be a sports fan in Houston. One championship you win, and it's an asterisk.
Yeah, it's true.
It's been brutal.
All right, I think we're going to go ahead and hit up the Game of the Week preview.
It's time for the Match of the Week preview.
Match of the Week preview is where we tell you what games are coming on and which ones you should watch. The Tuesday night games, the night we're recording this, just to let everyone know, it was Montreal and Chicago at 7:30, Miami, Columbus at 8, Minnesota and LAFC at 8, Houston and New England at 8:30, SKC and DC at 8:30. Then Wednesday, September 14th, Orlando hosting Atlanta, 6 o'clock. On Univision and ESPN2 is the Campeones Cup, which is the champion of Liga MX and the champion of MLS. That's New York City FC hosting Atlas at 7:30 at Yankee Stadium. That's what home stadium they're playing in this week. Austin is hosting RSL at 9:15. Colorado hosts San Jose at 10. Vancouver hosts LA Galaxy at 10 o'clock. On Saturday, we got some big matches. New York Hudson River Derby here. NYCFC versus New York Red Bulls at 1 o'clock. Atlanta hosting Philly at 3:30. That's on the Unimas TUDN Twitter game of the Saturday. New England hosting Montreal at 7:30. Orlando hosting Toronto at 7:30. Chicago hosting Charlotte at 8 o'clock. SKC hosting Minnesota at 8:30. Austin hosting Nashville at 9 o'clock. RSL hosting Cincinnati at 9:30. Vancouver hosting Seattle, 10 o'clock. Galaxy hosting Colorado at 10:30. And San Jose hosting Dallas at 10:30. On Sunday, we have an ESPN match at 1 o'clock. That's the Crew hosting Portland at 1 o'clock. And DC hosting Miami at 5. LAFC hosting Houston at 10:30. I can't wait till next year when most of the games are just Saturday and Wednesday, because this Crew Portland game is going to get smashed. It's going to get absolutely smashed by NFL football on Sunday at 1 o'clock, week 2. Like, come on. I know they wanted probably some other programming for ESPN or something, but there's got to be a better way. All right.
Especially because that's a good game.
Yeah, it's a game for some playoff implications for the Crew and for Portland, which is not usually the case when you're talking about inter-conference, intra-conference games. But all right, anything else before we head out of here?
Yeah, did we give a game of the week, or were we just?
What's your game of the week, Logan?
Yeah. Jordan, my game of the week is actually the Columbus Crew and Portland Timber game. So it's actually one that, I didn't even think of NFL. I really didn't. But with this game, Jordan, Nashville had won 4 of their last 5. They look really good. They're on a no, I said Columbus, not Nashville. I don't know why I was thinking. Anyway, Columbus Crew, Jordan, I think with the way that things are going, they need points, 4 draws in their last 5 games. So collecting points here to stay away from that number 8 spot is going to be crucial. They do have a game in hand over New England, but if you lose a game here or there, it starts to get a little closer. Crew can pretty much, Jordan, put them to rest if I think they win this weekend. So, I mean, it's going to be important for the Crew to grab a win. And then Portland, the best team in the West right now, and streaking and trying to catch up to a home playoff spot. And I think, Jordan, you and I can both agree that, I mean, this is really important for the West to keep Portland down in the bottom. You do not want Portland having a home game in the playoffs because we see what that can do. They don't even have to be playing their best soccer. Playing in Providence Park is never fun. And I'm just picturing, Jordan, picturing Timbers playing in Philadelphia for an MLS Cup final, because I think that would be a freaking blast with how well Portland is playing. And I think with just the talent levels and the skill that they have, that they finally caught fire and they look like that team that could push for knocking and bouncing Austin LAFC from the playoffs. So pretty cool.
I would
game.
take that. I would take that if we don't have to face LAFC or Austin in the MLS Cup.
Yeah.
I would take that. My game of the week is going to be the Hudson River Derby. So New York City, like we said, is kind of close to falling out of a home playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Red Bulls sit above them by 4 points. Can they kind of cement their spot, give them a larger cushion with Orlando right behind them, and also get within 1 of taking 3rd place against the Red Bulls? Or are they destined to end up staying in 4th? They haven't really been good recently. Red Bulls haven't really been that good recently either, though. So it's going to be a messy game is what my prediction is. And it could cement top 4 for one of those 2 teams with whatever way it goes, I think.
It's wild to me that there's a couple. I mean, we're at the end of this week, we could be, we're games like 2 games left for these teams. Like we're almost to the playoffs. That's absolutely insane. By the time the playoff ends, man, we'll be talking World Cup. So
yeah, it's like almost
wild.
immediately into it. So
right.
It's pretty crazy.
This next month is going to be absolutely insane. But I'm really excited for the playoffs this year. I can't wait to do the big preview show for it and talk all playoff stuff, because it was such a blast last year watching the playoffs. Like I really did enjoy soccer and MLS.
Yeah, I think the issue we're having right now, right, is that, and this isn't usually, actually, I think this is probably one of the better years of openings for teams to still get in this late. Usually, like we only have 1 team eliminated. Usually we have
3 or 4.
Usually with 3 games left, it still starts to be like, okay, now we're starting to eliminate teams.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually just mathematical stuff. There are a lot of teams that have legitimate shots at still getting in right now. And
yeah, especially the
like
East.
Not just like mathematical chances,
right,
but where they're like literally 2 points behind, 1 point behind, 3 points behind of a playoff spot right now. And they also have games in hand and all this fun stuff that it's like, okay, it's a lot more to track of, I think, than it is usually. Now, who knows if it'll finish as strong, right? Last year, decision day, literally, it's like LA Galaxy's in, and then 1 minute later, no, they're not.
All right.
Oh, Seattle's winning the West. Oh, no, they're not. It's actually the Rapids. Like, everything changed real quick on that Western side last year. So we'll see if that continues this year or if it's going to become a little bit more standard over the next week, I think. I think by this weekend, we'll really know, like, where we're heading.
Uh-huh.
If it's still jumbled up, it's going to be like, okay, the next 2 weeks are going to be fun.
Yeah.
If it's not as jumbled up, you're like, okay, I think we're almost set. And at that point, it gets to the point of like, let's just start the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we
Yes, it
noticed
does.
that by listenership. We notice it by Twitter
Uh-huh.
engagement, that at a certain point, if you're one of those teams where you're not like, the Union are chasing records right now and a
Mhm.
supporter shield, while other teams are just like, if I was a third place East team, you're like, all right, let's just get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause we're not going to get first. We're probably not going to fall out of the playoff spot. Let's just get in and get it done with.
I agree.
And so I think some people are feeling that for sure. For me, it snuck up on me. I literally this weekend looked or something. I'm like, only 3 games left?
Yeah.
It's because usually it starts about the end of October, right? But because of World Cup, we have to wrap it up a little sooner.
Yeah. And there's like a collision course of all sorts of games in the next 2 weeks. Like the fact that I mean we're talking about
we
Saturday,
have
Sunday.
We still have Leagues Cup showcases on the 21st and 22nd.
Yeah. And we were talking about like these Tuesday, Wednesday games, like, or just skipping over them, talking about like the game of the week and stuff. But you're right. By the time we hit next week when we do the episode, we will pretty much know every single scenario as far as playoffs are concerned. I would think they will have a whole list of everybody's team and what needs to happen in the next 2 games.
And the worst part is that we're actually about to come into another FIFA window.
Yes.
So I think the Union's like final 2 games are after that window from what I saw. October 1st and October 9th. So they'll play this weekend and then we'll have a gap for the thing, and then we'll come back October 1st and October 9th, and we wrap it up October 9th, decision day, 2:30 for the East Coast, 5 o'clock for the West. Maybe we'll pick a game to go live on. We'll kind of figure that out, but should be a lot of good stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, last year's decision day we went live and it was a lot of fun. We
did that for the East, and then the West. I remember I was like cleaning while watching the games and like trying to keep track of everything.
Right.
Well, if you want to give us a follow, if you want to enter in the contest for the Panini sticker packs, on Twitter at Stateside Show, Instagram at Stateside Show, Facebook.com/Stateside Show, or email us if you feel like Telemundo, want to send us some press stuff. That's statesideshow@gmail.com. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we'll catch you next time.